Here we go then to 5 red lights in Singapore. Lights out, away we go. Piastri on the left gets a not so great start, but Lewis Hamilton already up into first place, into the turn 1. Brilliant start from Hamilton. Russell, and well, there's a mix in the background. I think it's Sonny Hayes battling with Tsunoda, and well, the two of them side by side all the way up towards the first long straight on the track here. Hayes to the outside on Tsunoda, but Hamilton is streaking away, looking at West behind as well on Tsunoda. He might take both of them here. West looking to the inside, going through the Honda, going up 3 wide now, all the way now down towards turn 7 on the racetrack. The left-hander, Tsunoda wins out. West pushed to the wide, and well, that will just about be that. But our championship contenders, well, the top 2 in the championship currently struggling. Well, you can see West down the order a bit too much, but Lewis Hamilton leads the way here at Singapore. Piastri in behind him, Russell following in closely too. But the top 3, and well, as we come through lap 1 we go. Hamilton, Piastri, Russell, Tsunoda, Hayes, West, Alonso, Hulkenberg, Albon, and West is also going down the inside of Hayes, but it's not quite to be. Remember, the overtaking opportunities are quite more extreme now, and well, West dispatches of Hayes quite easily. But the 2 championship contenders separated quite far on the racetrack here. Verstappen down in 12th at the minute, and he's not had a good, well, weekend at all. Had to take a penalty in qualifying, of course, after engine component change. 10th place grid drop. He would have been up there. But well then, as we come through the last section of corners, Hamilton leads the way on lap 1, then Piastri in behind and following quite closely. Oscar Piastri looking to try and get in the mix with the World Championship. He's currently 38 points behind Max Verstappen and will make a nice sizable dent coming after this weekend if he can finish as high as he is today. But Piastri right on the back of Lewis Hamilton, and we'll have DRS all the way down the straight we go. Here comes Oscar Piastri pulling to the right hand side. Hamilton blocks brilliantly, and Piastri almost loses control. Piastri's to the outside, really trying this one. He's got it. Oscar Piastri takes the lead on lap 2, and well, Lewis Hamilton can't quite keep him at bay. But well then, McLaren lead the way then at Singapore. It's followed. West has also got past Tsunoda in the background. But well, this throws in a few things into the mix in terms of the World Championship. Piastri would really close the gap now on Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton and West too with this, and it will be such a big boost to his championship hopes if he can keep like this. Already out a second, Oscar Piastri. Well, we will see how he does here over the next few laps, but Piastri, I think, is enjoying time out here. Hamilton, though, on the hard tyres. Russell on, I think, the hards as well, but he's really starting to close up, George Russell. We come through the last sector. There is rain forecast on the way midway through this race. There is something as well that we probably need to keep an eye on. Will it be intermediate or will it be wet? Singapore can be unpredictable in terms of the weather. But Hamilton and Russell following each other nice and closely. The 2 former Mercedes teammates. Russell looking to try and get into the championship hunt a little bit. He currently in 6th, 129 points, so probably a bit too far at this point. He is probably out of the championship with a few rounds to go after this one. Remember, it's the United States Grand Prix next. Hamilton blocking to the outside, and Russell is denied. A little look maybe around the outside into turn 7. And well, West is right on the back now of this 2-car pack. And it's 3 Brits looking at the podium positions. And well, through the old section where they had the Singapore sling, and now over the Anderson Bridge we go. Incredible aerial shot this. We have had some brilliant aerial shots this year. And well, West looking like he's got some very good traction off the exit of turn 13. And we come down towards 14 now, and well, I think there's been Piastri hit the wall, I think, on the exit. Word in my ear, Piastri hit the wall and had a bit of a spin. So, what's going to happen here? Hamilton catching. We'll go back and maybe have a look at that in a second. We get the replay, but Piastri looks like he's got damage on that left rear tyre as well. And well, we'll have a look on board. Let's see. No real wing damage, but he's just flexing quite a bit. Might this be a big moment for Piastri's championship hopes too? A big mistake, and well, a nasty whack on the tyre like that can actually... It can really cause some bad damage to it. It's not a great moment, I think, for Oscar Piastri today. A great start so far, but Hamilton, Russell and West all with DRS and looking to try and follow. It gives shades of 2023 just a little bit. Remember when George Russell tried to go for the win and couldn't quite do it. In Singapore, Piastri's really struggling out there. Something's not right on the balance of that car. Well, the rear is almost sliding away. And look at him, he's all over the shot. Maybe this might be a requirement for an early pit stop. And we do have the rain on the way, so it wouldn't really affect him too much. It also depends, how long do the inters last? How long will they last in the wet weather conditions? And I think West has got past George Russell. He has. Great traction on the exit from the Ferrari. And well, West now right on the back of Lewis Hamilton. As we come through sector 3 up towards turn 16, West is going to be right on the back of Lewis Hamilton, looking towards the inside, not quite to be. And the two Ferraris, nose to tail once again this season. It's been an incredible fight between the two drivers. And well, Hamilton is now 16 points behind Max Verstappen. And well, now West looking to the inside at turn 1. Hamilton covers him off, but not quite to be for West. And Hamilton still defending for his life. Russell's also now in the mix. And well, we can now see West looking towards the outside as we come round towards turn number 5. Looking for it, maybe going for it, not quite enough. Squeezed out by Hamilton. Well, all the more while these lot battle, Piastri sneaks away. Yuki Tsunoda up in 5th, running very high in the race at the minute. Was at a podium last time out in Azerbaijan as West had his incident with Verstappen. But West is right on the back of Hamilton. I think he's been told to follow closely, but the thing is, West's on the medium tyre, Hamilton's on the harder compound. Might we be seeing maybe a bit of strategy in play, and maybe a bit of team orders? Over the Anderson Bridge we go once more. And well, Hamilton, well, the traction's there from West, and look at the traction he's got all the way running down towards turn 14, push towards the wall. Hamilton defends once more. West's exit will be key here as we come onto another DRS zone. 3 zones here at Singapore, and here comes West to the inside, maybe at turn 16, not quite to be. And well, all the while, West sits here, the less he's going to have effect on those tyres and how he can use them. Look at him, he's trying to the inside, trying as much as he can to try and maybe get past Lewis Hamilton here. But Ferrari are letting them race. Now remember, this could be a big moment if the rain comes a bit too soon. We're going to have to wait and see how this goes. Hamilton is under pressure once again from West as we come on to the long straight on the circuit here. Out through turn 6 we go. West looking to the inside, maybe, and getting the move done on Lewis Hamilton. Trying to, maybe. West still side by side. Not quite to be for Hamilton, but West is up to P2 finally. And finally we can start to see maybe West get a bit of fresh air. Oh, goes wide, slips it out, and well, the back end stepping out badly there on West car, and he's done it again, and Hamilton's going to sneak through to the outside he goes, and well, West almost holding position, but something's not right, and I don't think it's that. I think it might be the medium tyre runners. Piastri is also a medium tyre runner, and he's been struggling on his tyres for grip, on the rears especially. Not West, and well, Russell there too. Tsunoda's not been struggling as much, so maybe he's countered it, but West is right on the back of Hamilton again. And well, Ferrari side by side, West trying to find the gap he can and trying to change direction all over the shot. And well, there he goes, up into P2 once again. But how long will it be for? Well, Russell boxing already, lap 6. And he's binning off the hard tyre. So, an interesting strategy here for Mercedes. Oh no, sorry, front wing damage on Russell. Front wing damage on George Russell. We didn't see that. Something's gone wrong somewhere. A new front wing for the Silver Arrows. Well, it's a clean stop, you might say, but in this tight Singapore pit lane, but he'll drop right to the back. First stopper of the day, George Russell. And well, Alonso up past Tsunoda now. Well, Fernando Alonso, we've not seen much of him all season, apart from Spain, with that podium, but Fernando Alonso up to 4th. And well, maybe, well, he's won here before, 2008, controversially, sorry. He's been there for a while, to be fair. He's actually enjoyed racing here at Singapore in the past, and another driver who loved this circuit was Sebastian Vettel. Lewis Hamilton too, won 3 times here. Oscar Piastri. Carlos Sainz too, 13th at the minute. And well, Ferrari starting to break away from Lewis Hamilton of West, and now Piastri 3 seconds up the road. Might it be? Oh! Goes snaps above his steer and goes to go wide. And Hamilton will be very, very much rubbing his hands together at this, because if West tyres are truly gone, well then it's going to be, well, a very interesting pit strategy. The rain is about 5 minutes away. So for those of you who are wondering, is there going to be a bit of wet weather to come? Yes, there will be. 5 minutes. 5 minutes till the rain. And well, West will surely, and usually when it comes down in Singapore, it's not just a small shower, not just a light drizzle, it buckets it down. It's monsoon season nearly too as well. Oh, no, typhoon season around Asia at the minute. We had Fung Wong a couple of weeks ago. Well, West is really, really, really struggling on these tyres. And this is, well, he's still making a breakaway, but it's the deficit of the medium to the hard tyre that's really helping West stay ahead of Lewis Hamilton here. You can see he's wrestling. Oh, that's not going to help him. Brushes the wall on the exit. And well, Oscar Piastri leads the way then. We're going to have a look down the order. Max Verstappen, actually, because Verstappen is stuck currently in a train behind the Apex GP of Sonny Hayes, with Albon, Norris, and Antonelli also in this group. Ocon 2. And Sainz, I think, in the background as well. But it's interesting to see that Max Verstappen's not really made the most of these medium tyres yet. But, well, we're going to maybe see, well, Hamilton trying to shake Alonso maybe into the pits. And there's Alonso on the hard tyres, so he's got some rapid pace, Fernando Alonso, at the minute. On the back of Hamilton here. But are we starting to see rain in the air? Well, Hamilton knows about winning in the wet at Singapore 2017. That first corner incident with Max Verstappen, Kimi Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel. I believe Alonso was in there as well, but well, Alonso is right on the back now of Hamilton. He's got DRS all the way open. Well, the pack is starting to space out just a little bit, but the Singapore high-rises are playing a great part in giving us some excellent camera shots. The lap 9 of the Singapore Grand Prix, and well, it's going to get spicier and spicier. Wet weather on the way. If you've skipped forward and just joined us, it's been a rapid start. Rapid first third of this race. And soon we're going to start thinking about some pit stops. But Alonso is right on the back of Lewis Hamilton. DRS open. Not quite close enough, though, this time. Maybe with this second DRS zone, he can make a good exit. And he has got a good exit. Well, Alonso all the way open with the DRS. Is that Mercedes power unit quite as good as the Ferraris at the minute? Not quite to be. Well, we're going to see Piastri pit. We're not going to see Piastri pit. West doesn't pit either. Hamilton stays out. Looking like Alonso will too. Yuki Tsunoda, we'll have a look in the background. The top 5. Well, there's a nice healthy gap to Nico Hülkenberg in P6, who's running pretty much on his own as a lone car at the minute, but he's doing an excellent job in the Sauber. Some good points so far for Nico Hülkenberg this year. Well, we'll have to see a bit more. Alonso, though, still on the back of Lewis Hamilton. This is a throwback all the way to 2007 in the McLarens. When Hamilton was a rookie, Alonso a two-time world champion, still is, but the reigning world champion at best. And, well, these two have a bit of history and a lovely, well, fierce rivalry, you might say. We're still trying it. Norris also past Hayes, and looking past Hayes is Max Verstappen too to the outside. Hayes trying to get the traction, but Max Verstappen finally gets past Sonny Hayes, and now Verstappen can try and put the foot down. Let's have a look back up towards Hamilton and Alonso. Now the DRS zone. Alonso not such a good exit this time, but DRS all the way open. Well, there we have it. And West still going, and I think this is going to be time. West pitting, and Piastri sliding on the exit of turn 18, but West now boxes for Ferrari. Hamilton and Alonso go through into P2 and P3. Let's see how the stop is for the Ferrari. Nice and easy for the Ferrari pit crew, and a set of hard tyres. And I think that I see rain in the pit lane. It's starting to come down. This might not be a perfect time for West to go onto the hard tyres. I don't think the Ferrari crew realised or put their hand out the window, but it is starting to bucket down. And you can certainly see a line starting to form, and, well, is anyone boxing this lap? I don't think anyone is. So, a twist in the tail then. The rain is coming down here in Singapore. Piastri's struggling out there. Will it be a set of intermediates to come for Oscar Piastri? Yeah, you can see it. He's really struggling on the grip, and yet the rain is starting to come down. You can see it starting to appear on the spots on the camera. And Piastri's struggling. You can see him. He's down to a crawl nearly, and Hamilton is really trying to get a bit of time into him now. Well, West, how's he start on cold, hard tyres, and it's going to be hard to get these warm. It's really easy to lose heat in the tyres, but it's so hard to gain it. Well, West is struggling up behind Joshua Pierce. The time delta he's got, and he might as well just try and scrub a set of hards in case the rain does go away. And this is a short shower. I don't expect it will be, but Behrman to the outside, and I think we're going to have a look forward now towards Oscar Piastri. They're staying out, so maybe the conditions are good enough for another lap. And, well, Piastri, that slide tells me otherwise. And Hamilton is all the while catching on these hard tyres, and, well, I think this has gone down to a crawl. Well, it's going to be so light on the brakes and not trying to lock it up. Sainz, and yet they're all boxing. All of them are boxing. Tsunoda's in the pits. Hulkenberg onto the intermediate tyre. Hadja stays out. Hayes into the box too. It's a tight pit lane in Singapore. The old days when a refuelling hose, and that is probably going to be an unsafe release for Sonny Hayes on Alex Albon. And, well, I don't think there's any losers out of this, but, well, a lap on hard tyres. And, well, West is staying out, of course. This is going to be an interesting next lap or so. Will Tsunoda have the delta on the undercut to try? And you can start to see the rain starting to almost pitter-patter on the ground. And, well, Alonso and Hamilton are starting to catch the front here. And Piastri, he's down to a crawl. He's not enjoying these tyres at all. There's no grip whatsoever. And Hamilton, and yeah, you can see that actually down to a crawl at this point. So slow. Rain lights on, DRS disabled, so that will be Alonso staying in position for the time being. But they've got to pit now. They need to pit now. If they don't, I'd be really surprised. But Piastri, yep, coming to the pits. Hamilton also diving in, and Alonso also diving in too. Well then, there's your answer. there is your answer. And will West box 2? I think he will. I expect he will. But we're going to see these stops. Piastri. I think it's slow for Oscar Piastri. It is slow. Hamilton with a good stop too. But Alonso, let's see how he does. And the front three, all the while, are there. There's Yuki Tsunoda in the background. And well, he's caught right up to West. Let's see where he comes out then. And well, West and Sainz go in as well. A disaster. And I think Tsunoda might have the lead here. Over Oscar Piastri. He will have the lead. Yuki Tsunoda has undercut everyone on the intermediate tyre and leads the Singapore Grand Prix. What a twist in the tail. The Red Bull driver, who's been out of it nearly all season since Japan, is now leading in Singapore. Piastri, Hamilton, Alonso are stunned. And Hülkenberg as well is right on the back of the pack here. I think this is incredible from Yuki Tsunoda. We thought he was out, and Verstappen's another big winner in this too. He's up to 6th now. But West has lost out massively to pitting for the hards too soon. Ferrari strategy strikes again. And well, he's got a lot of ground to make up. Now everyone's on the same tyre. There's no undercut here. It's a changing conditions, but the Ferrari, they've got to be rapid now. They're going to be absolutely rapid. With Oscar Piastri, and well, the rain is really starting to come down now. It will get heavier and heavier and heavier. But Yuki Tsunoda leads the Singapore Grand Prix on lap 13. 17 to go at the line. And well, this is incredible. Tsunoda is absolutely loving life, I think, now at the minute up the front. And a really well played strategy from the Red Bull pit crew too. Yeah, you can really start to see it. The dry line is no longer there. This is monsoon weather now, you might say, here at Singapore. Red Bull back at the front again. Verstappen hasn't won in a few races now. He's actually, I don't think he's won for a while, off the top of my head. But Max Verstappen, he's been in the mix. A lot of P2s, but he hasn't actually won since Austria. So we might be seeing Verstappen's championship almost wilting away, isn't it? But Yuki Tsunoda leads here, lap 14 on Oscar Piastri. He is chasing slowly, and look at the back end on that McLaren is just all over the place. And Hamilton's slowly catching up the group, and I think this is, you can start to see this spray now being kicked up by the cars. Well, don't forget, we've got more Charity Cup action this week, the 4 quarter-finals of the men's Charity Cup. You can watch those here on Westie TV, and also you've got the US Grand Prix coming out in after the first 2 fixtures, so a couple of races time, a couple of days time, sorry. Sprint as well in Texas, in Cota, and then we will go on to Mexico, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. But not long to go in this season. It's been a really exciting one so far. After this race, 6 rounds to go, and well, the championship is looking closer than ever. Right now then, well, Verstappen would still keep his lead. West is down in 15th. He hasn't made the move an inch. Normally he's rapid to try and get back up the field, but well, with no DRS here, it's looking harder and harder for Oscar Piastri to try and make an overtake. He's getting closer to Yuki Tsunoda, but he's not quite getting close enough to make an overtake. Well, we'll have a look down the order at Max Verstappen. He's caught onto the end of the pack here. He's 1 second behind Nico Hülkenberg now, and you can see the leaders can see Yuki Tsunoda in the lead. He can probably trying to swallow his tongue to GP on the radio. Lando Norris also still looking to try and make up some points to Oscar Piastri in the World Championship and maybe hopefully rejoin the fight. But well, after this race, there isn't many points on offer. That's all. And well, 6 rounds to go. 24 sprint points, 150. 6 rounds to go, 150 race points, 24 sprint points, 174 left. So, I mean, Norris still in the fight, but he'd need miracles to go his way. And the rain has got so much heavier now. And well, we're starting to see, you can see just the track is completely inundated with water. And Singapore, I'm sure is starting to feel it. Get your umbrella out. Kimi Antonelli, first time racing at Singapore. He's doing a very good job so far. But West on the back, in the background is, well, he's trying to make moves, and Liam Lawson is holding up and on his way. Well, switches to the inside and gets the move done. 14th now for West. Well then. Hamilton still chasing Oscar Piastri. Alonso is in behind him. Alonso will be picking up some big points today. Points that will probably put him on the verge, nearly the top 10 in the World Championship. Well, where do you see it? Tsunoda leading the Grand Prix then. It's been halfway through, and well, we're starting to see a bit more of a processional occasion here in Singapore. Remember, it can change in an instant here. And well, we went from dry running and excitement all up and down the paddock, and now it's down to a procession. It's just how Formula 1 is these days. I think in 2076 we'll have new regulations and some excitement potentially with teams being mixed up and down the order. Audi coming in, Cadillac also throwing themselves in the mix of as the 21st and 22nd cars on the grid. And well, that rain is, I mean, it could be possible, but might we have to start thinking about a wet tyre? When do you switch? I mean, if it is going to get this bad, when do you switch onto the wet tyres at this point? And well, Hülkenberg is going to have to fend off Max Verstappen now as we come off turn 5 and down towards turn number 7 on the racetrack. Hülkenberg holds out this time, but Verstappen is, well, he's like a shark. He'll wait for the prey to be in position, then bite. And well then, Hülkenberg still feeling the pressure, I think, on Max Verstappen, but well, Lando Norris is 11 seconds off the pace now, and well, he's probably thinking this championship might have slipped away from me here. Let's have a look further down the order at the band. Currently in second place in the championship is West, and well, Alpine ahead. Gasly, who hasn't had a mixed season, Pierre Gasly, I think, this year. He's currently in 11th in the World Championship and a few points behind Esteban Ocon in 10th. And West still trying it and trying to make the most of it. Hülkenberg is boxing. What for? That is my million-dollar question. Is it time for wet tyres? Are they going to gamble for wet tyres? And I think they are. Wet tyres for Nico Hülkenberg. Well, does anyone else make make the switch? Is it going to be worthwhile going on to wet tyres? West sneaks through up to, well, wet tyres. It gives you a bit more tread, a bit more groove. They're almost like road car tyres, these. But they're designed to clear as much standing water as possible. And we'll see on Nico Hülkenberg's pace. I think that's what all the teams are doing. But Sauber, it's a strange one from Sauber to put on full wet tyres. Maybe the crossover point is here, but well, in the rains, it's a hard ask. And well, Hadger's also gone for the wet tyres, I think. Yes, he has. And well, look at this. You can actually see off the rear of Yuki Tsunoda's car how much rain there really is. It is bucketing it down here in Singapore. Maybe we did hear a report of a confirmed lightning strike somewhere on the track somewhere. So it's stormy in Singapore. Yuki Tsunoda is trying to make a break for it. But we'll now have to see, are the front runners going to box for wets, or are we going to stay out, or are we going to try? And well, Tsunoda dives for it, but backs out. There is word on the street that the radios that the rain's going to end in about 15 minutes, by which point it will be the end of the Grand Prix. But I don't think it will. I think it will probably stay as is for the time being. And well, Lando Norris. In fact, Verstappen, he is boxing for wet tyres. Well, Max Verstappen then thinks, I need to box for wets, and well, championship rival West goes through. I think that might be a little bit too reactive from Max Verstappen. And well, he's down into 13th now, so West back up in the top 10 then, so we will score some championship points today. How many points is the answer, is the question. Because West is currently stuck behind Lance Stroll. I don't know how many laps he's going to get out of these. Well, Yuki Tsunoda up the front then. And I think enjoying himself currently right now. But it could all change in an instant. Remember, we've not had a safety car yet, to be fair, here at Singapore. We had one in Azerbaijan. Normally you get a good safety car or a virtual safety car. Well, the rain's still coming down. It's still bucketing it down. We come out the last sector. The last section of corners. But 2/3 of the way through the race now. Yuki Tsunoda then leads the way. Piastri, Hamilton, Alonso, Norris, Albon, Ocon, Stroll, West and Gasly the top 10. I'm not seeing very many moves up and down the pack here, but Tsunoda and well, Hamilton as it stands, I think would take the championship lead. I think he would take the championship lead. He's 65 behind. I think you need to get a bit higher up for Hamilton to be there at the minute. Well, if West can get up to, I believe, P8, then he will potentially be neck and neck with Verstappen in the championship going into the Texas Grand Prix. And oh, Piastri with a massive tank slapper coming out of the old Singapore sling. A massive, massive tank slapper, and well, who do you call upon if you're well, the intermediate starting to burn out a little bit. I don't know if they surely can't be burning out. They're in the right optimum kind of range. Some of the drivers have gone for wets, and I think the wet tyre runners are going to be struggling. Their signs is on the wet tyre, so is Hadger. It's Pierce, Bortoletto. I don't think they made any gains. This is very strange from all of the cars in, well, doing the slowest of the... Well, not many drivers have made that big switch over to the wet tyre, and I don't think a lot of big drivers should now. So the rain's going to stay like this, then they might as well just hold on to the intermediates, keep poodling around. And maybe it might be a day of holding position, but, well, you can see the lines of actually how the... You just look on the exit here, you can see the line of where Norris drives here. You can see where they create a dry patch on the circuit. Well, the last time we saw wet tyres used was Silverstone, but I think off the top of my head it was Silverstone. Nope, sorry, I lied. Dutch Grand Prix. Dutch Grand Prix, when we had a bit of a mid-race downpour on the northwest coast of the Netherlands. Of course, the North Sea brings the weather there. Well, West is still stuck behind Lance Stroll. Is this probably a big moment in West Championship? Because if he gets held up behind Stroll long enough, then... Well, I don't think... Oh, West is slow. What happened there? I don't know what... He just slowed down all of a sudden. I don't know if he's trying to get a... Oh, actually, no. Virtual safety car. Something's happened. It's Kimi Antonelli. Antonelli is off to the side, and I think... I can't tell where that is. That is turn 5. I think, off the top of my head. And Kimi Antonelli then, and well, this could spark maybe a few runs onto the wets. And is Yuki Tsunoda back to racing speed? Not yet. Not yet, as we come across the line. And well, that is big news then for some of the runners. None of the front runners are boxing. Does Norris? I don't think he will. Albon's going to be a no too. And we're back to green again. So it was short, and I think West got Stroll on the restart. Excellent work from West. And now he can go and hunt down Esteban Ocon and Albon as well. Well, we've been racing here at Singapore since 2008. The only time we've not had the Grand Prix here was 2020. And 2021 as well, after the COVID-19 pandemic. Return in 2022 was an interesting race to say the least. But West now starting to catch Esteban Ocon. Look at the gap he's already put on Lance Stroll. He only had it in turn 1. Some remarkable bit of work from West to pull the gap out already. And Stroll, you can just see how slow he is. Well, Tsunoda, Piastri, Hamilton and Norris. The top 4 all vying for a podium position, and there's another yellow. Where have we got another yellow? And I think there's something going on somewhere. I can't tell what's gone on. I think there's been a yellow somewhere, but I'm not sure what's going on. Can't quite find it. I think someone might have had a spin somewhere, but I'm sure it's all fine. But well, Tsunoda, 9 laps to go then. Or 8 laps to the line. Sorry. When Tsunoda crosses, and well, it's going to be a an interesting finish then. Piastri though, 5 tenths behind, or 6 tenths now, and really starting to put the pressure on Tsunoda. Remember, one mistake, if you put it in the wall, that's your race over at Singapore. Well, George Russell will know all about that on the last lap of the 2023 Singapore Grand Prix. Hamilton was behind that day in third, and well, didn't quite end the right way for Lewis. Well then. Well, your top 10 with 8 laps to go then. Tsunoda, Piastri, Hamilton, Alonso, Norris, Albon, Ocon, West, Stroll, Gasly, Lawson, Verstappen, Behrman, Russell, Hülkenberg, Doohan, Hayes, Bortoletto, Pierce, Sainz, Hadjar and Antonelli is out of the race. Didn't give you a top 10, gave you the whole grid. Well then. The rain is still coming down. You can still see out of our commentary box window. It's hammering it down here in Singapore. Well, where do we start? Top 4 then covered by less than 4 seconds. And well, Norris is starting to maybe catch. I think you can see Norris catching actually. He's gained a bit of time on the front 4. Maybe he might catch it towards the end. But the major big news I think as well is Max Verstappen is currently on the wet tyre and it has dried out a little bit. You see the dry line has started to appear. So maybe the rain's eased up a little bit. We might see around the track, and well, Verstappen. Well, if it has dried up as it has, and there's another. I think there's another virtual safety car, but I'm not sure where. Hülkenberg is off to the left, and well, he's parked it. Awful for Nico Hülkenberg. He was running so well in this race, and well, I don't think we're going to see. And that I'm not sure where this is. This is at turn 5 against Antonelli. So this might be a bit longer because we might have a recovery vehicle go out there. But will it last long enough maybe for Verstappen to maybe put on some intermediate tyres? But is it really the time? I mean, a tyre delta would be good, but well, Tsunoda. You can see out the back of. I think we're back to green again. We are. Green is good. 6 to go then. Tsunoda. Well, not a lot of spray being kicked up, but enough. You can see the yellow flags and Hülkenberg's car's now been pushed behind the barrier, and that will be that. With Yuki Tsunoda on for a second win of the season here. Once in Japan, once in Singapore. If you can just hold on. Piastri, though, would make a massive, massive dent in Max Verstappen's lead and, well, West's lead as well. So, for the last 6 rounds, then, we might have a 4-way fight for the World Championship going towards Abu Dhabi. And, well, I would love to see. I would absolutely love to see. And there's another yellow out somewhere. I'm not sure why or where. But yellows and not more. What's going on? I can't quite tell what's going on here. Yellows towards the Anderson Bridge, but interesting. Well, yellows in sector 2, then going on to sector 3. Interesting, and whilst the yellow flag's being waved, so not quite sure what's going on there, but well. Green's back again as well. Tsunoda then, he's been dominant all race long. Since he took the lead, he's been dominant. Piastri, though, I think will be ruining not having a faster stop. But for the last 6 races then, a 4-way fight for the World Championship could be on our hands. The reigning champ, Max Verstappen, on top of his game for 4 years, not been dethroned yet in this era of Formula 1 regulations. Lewis Hamilton searching for an 8th world title that has been, well, he's had losses in the past, and looking to try and get an 8th and become the first Ferrari World Champion since 2007. In the other red corner, West, a rookie, trying to get his first ever World Championship after such an impressive season with Ferrari. And then Oscar Piastri, searching for his first World Championship, looking to become the first Drivers' World Champion since Lewis Hamilton in 2008, and also the first Australian to hold the World Championship trophy, and maybe even lead the World Championship for the first time since Mark Webber did. I believe the last time Mark Webber was top of the World Championship, it was 2012 off the top of my head. I might have to stat check that. Well, the rain's easing up a little bit, but still heavy enough. You can see now a true dry line start to form. Maybe the intermediates might come a bit more into life, but remember, the less water there is, the hotter the tyre will become, so then it will be so much more slippery for the drivers. It's slippery out there now and it's slick, but well, Yuki Tsunoda, round the final corner we go, onto lap 27 of the Grand Prix. Piastri in behind him though, and Hamilton also looking to try and make the mix. Norris is 4 seconds behind now, he's half the gap in over a couple of laps, so Norris, well, could be in the mix here. Potentially. If Norris was to win a couple more races, he could be, you know, bringing himself back into the World Championship like Hamilton's done this season. I mean, Hamilton's been on an incredible streak of race wins so far this season. I think Ferrari actually have had, in fact, 5 of the last 6 they've been winners of. Yuki Tsunoda then. Let's have a look out as we come up towards the Singapore Sling section. Piastri closing up the gap, but the rain is still coming down here in Singapore. Well, Ferrari, well, at the start of the season it was Verstappen with 2 of the first 3 races. Verstappen's won 5 times so far this season. Piastri 3 times. 4 times, sorry. Hamilton has won 5 races since Silverstone, and he's brought himself back into championship contention. Meanwhile, West has only won 4 times this season, but is still right up there in terms of the championship. He's really enjoyed it. He hasn't retired from the race also so far this season. No non-finishes. Oscar Piastri, let's have a ride on board of him then. Coming out the last corner, and you see him sliding the car. It's like a bit of a... Some of the F1 drivers do like a bit of a slippery back end, but well, just a bit of fun sliding about, and we'll ride on to Lewis Hamilton now. The man who, if he takes Piastri right now, would become the championship leader. For the first time since 2021, Lewis Hamilton would be leading the World Championship. Well, we all know how that ended. Well, don't forget, we've got 6 more races this year left. We've got United States, Mexico. United States, Mexico. Well, I've got the rest of the button on my screen here. But Lewis Hamilton, though, I think he's enjoying Singapore. But don't forget, we've got USA, we've got the sprint. They're out there in Cota as well. Mexico, Brazil at Drama Jose Carlos Peixe, and then Las Vegas, Qatar with the sprint there, and then the finale, Abu Dhabi, 19th of December. We've pinned it in for at the minute. We cannot wait to share the next 6 races and 3 sprints with you. This championship's really going to hot up and get exciting. Well, with 3 laps to go then, Yuki Tsunoda still leads the way. Oscar Piastri is almost there and trying to catch Yuki Tsunoda. He's setting you back for one last lap, but then Yuki Tsunoda will probably be doing the same thing to try and stay ahead of this pack. But well, it has dried up massively. You might as well stay on these intermediate tyres now. The cars, well, the rain stopped. Just one observation: the rain has now stopped over the circuit. You can see over the back of the pack. I think that was Sainz, Hadjar, Bortoleto, and Pierce. On the other side of the circuit. But, well, the rain and umbrellas are not down yet. Piastri's still sliding it in there. Well, the more you slide it, Oscar, the more you burn up your tyres. Mark Webber will tell you that. Well, Max Verstappen though, and well, West is now up behind Esteban Ocon, and well, maybe he could make a move that might help this race. We'll fly over the Anderson Bridge once again. We'll have a closer look. West, though, right on the back of Esteban Ocon. And well, now a good exit, good traction, and Ocon will slowly be reeled in by the Ferrari. Oh, well, I think we'll almost said we'll have DRS, but we don't have DRS yet, even though it's dried up a little bit. Still not quite there yet. But well, I'm amazed we've not had a full safety car here today. It's been... But in the meantime, starting to see West having a look down the inside on Ocon into turn 1. Not quite to be. Ocon defends very, very well. And well, that's not going to be easy for the Ferrari to enjoy. But well, Ocon defends West well and loses a bit of traction going into the turn number 5. Have to try and make this work. And well, West trying down the inside, going into turn 7, gets the move done, pushes Ocon out, and West then takes 7th place in the race. And well, a brilliant move. He's probably a bit too far now from Alex Albon to make a challenge, so that'll be his finishing position today. But let's have a look towards the battle up front. 5-way car battle now for the podium places. And well, Yuki Tsunoda is under pressure from Oscar Piastri as we come up into the last section of corners on the penultimate lap of the Singapore Grand Prix. Yuki Tsunoda then, the last lap before his second victory of the season. He almost lost it there. And almost went wrong. No one's pitting then. It's dry as a bone out there now. So, well, Oscar Piastri has dropped back a little bit. But Yuki Tsunoda starts his last lap here in Singapore. What a brilliant day it's been. Oscar Piastri will make the most of the points he's made up in the past few days. And well then, it's been a very, very good day, I think, for Red Bull and for Yuki Tsunoda. Verstappen, though, down in 12th, so it won't score points on this occasion. But a really big opportunity for Piastri, Hamilton, West, Norris too, to make up some points in the World Championship hunt or the World Championship fight. Constructors too, Ferrari will make a big gain out of this today as well. So will McLaren over Red Bull. Bortoleto has got past Hayes, and Hayes has really dropped down. And he is pitting on the last lap for, I think, something or other of a faster tyre. But Yuki Tsunoda then, well, he's not put a foot wrong all Grand Prix. He got the strategy right when he needed to. Went on to the intermediates, beat all the front runners with an undercut that no one we've seen all season has done. But Yuki Tsunoda is going to come around the final few corners for his second race win of the season. Here he comes then. Yuki Tsunoda is a race winner once again in Formula 1. It's his second win of the season here in Singapore. And well, Piastri, Hamilton, Alonso and Norris your top 5. Albon crosses the line in a brilliant 6th. West is going to stay ahead in 7th and finish ahead of Esteban Ocon. But a great day then for Ferrari, most importantly Red Bull. What a day. Yuki Tsunoda is your winner here in Singapore. What a day then for Yuki Tsunoda, a second race win of the season here in Singapore. Well, your top 3 then, Oscar Piastri, Lewis Hamilton, and well, what a day it has been for Yuki Tsunoda and Red Bull. Well, Red Bull finally winning again for the first time since Austria, and maybe that might be a start of a run of form. But in the top 10, Alonso with brilliant P4, Norris in P5, Ocon, Stroll and Gasly rounding out the top 10, West also in P7 after a disappointing race, but Alex Albon picking up more points for Williams in their midfield fight. But Yuki Tsunoda picking up big points in the Drivers' Championship, as West retakes the championship lead by 2 points to Max Verstappen. Hamilton in 3rd, 1 point now behind Verstappen. Piastri closes the gap to 19 points off the top 3. Yuki Tsunoda jumps George Russell. The only change down between 6th and 10th is really Tsunoda and Russell up to 139. But it could all change when we next go to the United States.